Because people always ask, like, what are you most excited for?
It's easy to speculate, right? Like, oh, I wonder what he's gonna be like. I wonder what he's gonna look like. Is he gonna be
Fireball, like, because,
personality-wise? Yeah, we were speculating all night, and then it's like
all day we just look at each other and we're like, what do you think he's gonna be like?
Yeah. Welcome to the Unaparent podcast, the place that delivers deeply human stories about the unapparent truths of parenting. My name is Katia Reguero Lindor, and I am your host. We hope you enjoy the show. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to season 5 of the Unaparent podcast. This season, we are dedicating it to MLB couples who I admire, who are obviously parents, who lead chaotic lives within the baseball world. Parenting is chaotic for all of us, and I hope this season gives everyone a lens into what it's like to parent within this crazy baseball world. So expect lots of laughs and heart and just empathy as we walk this journey together. And there's going to be an episode with Kalina, so I know some people are going to find that very enjoyable. And additionally, Francisco and I will be discussing what it means to be parents of 3. So I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Unaparent podcast. On today's MLB mini-series, we have Expecting Parents, which is the first time on the series that we have non-parents just yet. But Kara and Shane, thank you so much for being here today. And I know, Kara, you're really, really close to meeting your little one. So before we go into all things parents to be, could you take us back to how and when you guys met?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We were so excited about this. And I love all of this, your podcast and all that you do on it.
Thank you.
But we actually met in college at UCSB. You can take it.
We met through mutual friends, actually.
Yeah.
One of my teammates, his best friends, was dating one of Kara's best friends. I don't know I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we met them like individually, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I think you guys would be great together. Yeah. I think Elise, Kara's friend, told her that.
Yeah.
So fast forward, Kara liked 2 of my pictures on Instagram.
He always loves
it's major.
It's more than one. And we connected. I saw how much we had in common and mutual friends, and like she said, we both went to UCSB.
Great place to go.
Yeah, I left early. She's the one with the degree. But fast forward, that was 8 years ago, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was nice to meet with mutual friends just because, I don't even think we were both looking for anything. We were young and having fun and all the things. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll explore this just because I know that he's probably not like a complete weirdo if we have mutual friends.
It's always comforting having some sort of personal connection there.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Unlike me, who I met on Instagram, Francisco slid into my DMs, and I was like, he could be either a total player weirdo or not, but I can answer a message. It won't hurt,
Yeah, he slid in my DMs and said, well, hello there. And I'm like, that's all it took, really? I'm like, come on. I liked it because it wasn't, I guess, as try hard, but
yeah. That's cool. And this was how many years ago?
8
years ago. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So had you guys discussed, and this can be, I don't want it to be like a too personal question, but had you discussed, eventually having a family, having kids, or was that something you had reservations about, knowing how challenging this MLB lifestyle is? And Kara, I know you've been into some modeling, so it changes so many things about the dynamic. Could you walk us a little bit through what the pre-planning process was, if there was one?
Yeah, I think from the beginning of our relationship, we always knew that we did want kids. Going into baseball, though, so young, we knew that wasn't for a while. We wanted to get in a groove, just enjoy being married. We've been married for 2 years now, so our timeline, we just wanted to really enjoy that time in our lives where we could travel and figure out a good routine with baseball and the grueling schedule that it is. But yeah, how long? I mean, I think it was for 2 years that we were ready to have kids, but it was just a matter of like when.
Yeah.
And it was going to be either probably when it happened or like I was going to wait maybe one more year because like you said, I did just kind of start exploring modeling and really going after all things career. But he got Tommy John surgery and we kind of looked at each other and we're like, wait, does that mean like you're going to be home a little bit more? Like this might actually be the silver lining. So that's exactly what it ended up being for us. And it's been really, really amazing because he was there for like all of my appointments. And I always, people always ask, like, how's your pregnancy going? And I feel so thankful that it's going so well, but a huge reason is because of him and how much he's been there for me. So we've enjoyed it.
Yeah. That's awesome. And going from 0 to 1, I've always said, and I think I will always say, in my experience, is always the hardest, right? Because it's unknown territory. Anything that's unknown is going to feel really hard because it's a huge adjustment period. There's so many elements that you can prep for, but it's not really because you don't really know what it's going to entail until you live it, especially in this baseball world where so much of it goes into, like you're doing so much of it alone, right? Us as like the women, because they're traveling. And so I definitely see how that silver lining for you guys of him being home, and hopefully now you give birth. It'll still be probably a challenging transition, but I know for me, Kalina was born during COVID, right? So I also sort of got Francisco there for like the first portion of my pregnancy, and then she was born in the off season. And my life would have been just so different for those first few months had I not had, his presence. It makes such a huge difference, especially when they are such a big part of our parenting journey. Because, you would hope that every dad really wants to be a dad.
Especially like ones that do want to be involved and know how like special it is.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like you have that, within Shane, and I had that with Francisco. And it's such a key piece of what your postpartum experience is going to be like, right? Having that support system and your village is just so important. So if I can give you any words of unsolicited advice, it's to really lean on your village, especially during season, where it's going to feel, hard at times because Shane's not around, but when he is, it's just going to feel that much sweeter for sure.
No, all the advice from you, I want to hear it. You are amazing with your girls and another baby on the way and with baseball life and stuff. It's so nice to talk to somebody that really gets it.
Thank you.
Like, all my baseball girls that have kids, I'm going to be like, okay. It was actually funny when I announced that I was pregnant, it was like, just women from Instagram and everything kind of giving advice and what I need and things I need to buy. And then there was a whole separate baseball women being like, no, wait, you actually need this. And it's like almost two separate things of like advice and what you need, because it really is just like a different world that, we jump into during the season.
Yeah, for sure. Aduna to travel. You need that. Every baseball mom needs that to travel for sure. Yeah, but you'd be surprised how little you need at first, right? Because if you're planning on breastfeeding, that's one thing that's like you just need your boobs to be accessible, and then you need diapers and just like simple changes of clothes. Obviously, gadgets. You start accumulating things as you realize what works for you. I've seen moms who travel with like a ton of things that works for them. I'm much more of a simplify. The least things I need to carry with me, I will do that, right? So I'm more about like, okay, the Duna, I've got that for the kids. Now I have a double stroller because I have two. So I need that. But I try to carry as few things as possible and just figure it out along the way,
Right. If you take everything.
Then pretty soon you're just like.
Try and simplify it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and the moms who can do it, like, take all those things, and it's like, okay, well, good for you, and that works for you. That's great. I'm sure your kids, appreciate you because you're taking all of their stuff with them. But I'm like, if I need to entertain you with a cup on the plane, I will do that. You'll have a few stickers, you'll have a few things, but I'm not bringing like your crib and your bed and all that. We just figure it out. But everyone works differently,
too, right? Because of the overstimulated, like. Talk. That's a whole nother category, but like almost not giving them so much to like be occupied with. And
teaching them to sort of be bored, because then they will never be bored, right? Because then they will have to use their imagination and their creativity, and they'll entertain themselves pretty much anywhere. And we really need that with our lifestyle.
Yeah. You did good. When we had that day in New York with Kalina, that was just like, I still talk about her to random people. I'll be like, I don't even know her energy and like her essence and just like everything. Like she was just happy all day, like just entertained by dancing.
You told me that when I saw you.
Yeah, she's such, I don't know.
That's fantastic.
Such a special girl. Like,
yeah,
you could tell she was just like, I don't need any toys. I don't need anything. I'm having a great time just with you guys.
Because she's my social butterfly. And it's crazy how you can have, the same parents, the same environment, the same upbringing, and every kid is different, right? Well, she's gonna be my middle one now, but she's still my baby right now. She's a lot less social than Kalina. So, but she is very like independent play. She can sit in a corner and play with anything and she'll be perfectly fine. Kalina's in a stage where she wants more like social interaction, right? So she's like, come play with me, or I want to see my cousins. I want to see my friends. I want to see my aunt, my uncle. Amapola's more like, I don't need anyone in my space. I want to have my toys to myself and no one touch me if I don't want you to, and they're very different in that respect. And it's just so funny to see their personalities are very much their own from the time they're little kids, right? But it's really cute how then they get along. So, you'll experience that. And I think one of the most exciting parts about having a new kid is just learning their personality and what works for them and, what lights them up. Because with Kalina, it's clearly dance. She just loves dancing.
Entertainer.
Yeah. An entertainer through and through, for sure.
That yesterday or a couple of days ago, we were like,
because people always ask like, what are you most excited for?
It's easy to speculate, right? Like, oh, I wonder what he's gonna be like. I wonder what he's gonna look like. Is he gonna have my family's body type or her family's body type, or is he gonna be what's he gonna
fireball be like? Because
personality wise, we were speculating all night, and then it's like
not even gonna know until they're actually.
It doesn't really matter.
We're in that stage right now of the anticipation, because I am so close but I'm like kind of far away. Like I could go to, my due date or whatever. And so all day we just look at each other and we're like, what do you think he's going to be like?
Yeah. And Francisco loves saying he's going to be whichever he could look, physically more like one, personality more like the other, or both. But he's going to be whatever an improved version of either or, right? Francisco sees Kalina as like, definitely mixed, but an improved version of him with like, she's so energized and that's his energy. Like that's not me. Like my energy is much more, calm and chill. I am very fiery. I'm definitely an Aries through and through. Like I'm quick to fire back and like, get my point across. And I don't stay quiet when I have something meaningful to say. But I do, like to chill. And I feel like Kalina and Francisco could just like constantly be like, go, 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 go. But he's like, I see her and she's like the, by far an improved version of me. Right. And I kind of see, and he says, I see Amapola as like an improved version of you in many ways. He's like, no offense. I'm like, none taken. Like you want your kids to be a better version of you, right? You want them to be like the epitome of what you would like to put out into the world, right? Because we are essentially giving our children to the world one day, right? And so we want them to be the best versions they can be, right? But that's way down the line. For now, you're just gonna eat him up. He's gonna be the cutest thing on the planet for you anyway. And not to, like say that there's any cute kids that aren't cute, but there's no way he's not gonna be with you two as his parents. Just saying. So is there anything that was like a specific reservation or fear or apprehension that you had when, thinking about going into this parenting journey? Whether it's relating to the baseball world or just in general?
Well, without baseball or with, I think you're crazy to not have some, like, I wouldn't say worries, but just like you want to be the best version of yourself, the best person, the best example. the best parent. And so I think like if anything, we just think about how can we be better for him, and before having a baby, just wanting to like be at a place of that, I guess, of like that confidence.
Yeah.
But I've always known I wanted kids. You've always known that. We've always like made that very clear from the beginning. I am the type where I'm like, any of my friends or any girls in baseball that have been on a team know I'm like absolutely baby crazy. I've been that way forever. Like I want to hold your baby, like all the things. And so yeah, I feel like we knew we wanted.
Yeah, you kind of touched on that with the last question, is like we've known for a little while now, and one of the many things that I fell in love with about Kara is like how maternal she is, and how good she is with kids, and that's obviously a big check mark and a plus sign. And I knew that I wanted kids, you know, when we started dating, and we had been ready for a little bit of a while and ready to try, but the hesitancy is probably the schedule and what it demands. And you know, we value our relationship it's so highly, and you know,
As
obviously
yeah.
it's naive to say that that's not going to add some more stressors, right? And
just
in
more
different
things
situations
to figure out, because even just like with my career aspirations and being together so young, I mean, I was like only turning 19 when we met. So it's like I was coming back from studying abroad in Italy, finishing my degree and needing to move to Cleveland, like, because you know how it is. It's like you're either together. There's only so you can only do long distance for so long. So it was like I either moved to Cleveland or like we couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And we obviously just knew that we were each other's person. So having to just like figure out what my role and purpose in life is first, and what I want to do career wise, because like I really am only happy, not only happy, but like most happy going after goals and working, just truthfully. So I think I needed to figure that out, and we needed to figure it out together. And one of the things I love most about him and why our baseball life works, honestly, is because he knows that about me. He's always like allowing me and pushing me to go after the goals that I want. And so, yeah, just figuring that out and feeling good about like our groove in the baseball life with me pursuing a career first is kind of, I guess, was our like apprehension in a way.
Yeah. And it's funny because
that was
like, I just had a thought like when we're like, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to have kids. It's a matter of when. Yeah. Okay, we'll do it post baseball. And then every year we grew up, that number just kept coming back down. We're like, maybe the end of the career, maybe, you know, a few years.
Well, by the time they're 5,
we kind of found ourselves like right here, and perfect timing. They
always say you can't I mean, you can plan it, but like it just happens, and it's God's way, and that's like really truthfully how we felt. I'm just so thankful that, you know, we were able to, and when we wanted to, and we were able to plan, and it was able to like happen as quickly as it did. But yeah, I think the silver lining of his injury, unfortunately, though, has been like you being here for 100%.
Yeah, and that's so, you know, I think people assume us as athletes, you know, partners, we don't have career aspirations. And that's an assumption that's, I think it's a very ill assumption, because most often we do have career aspirations, and we did before, you know, either meeting or before marrying or before, you know, fully immersing into the parenting aspect of this lifestyle, right? But it's one of those things where typically you don't see, you know, the athlete spouse really going after those career goals and aspirations, because it does mean oftentimes that physical separation and the physical distance, because of the nature of, you know, baseball being so, you know, it's 6 months of so much travel. And then when you add kids into the mix, then you have to think about, okay, well, are we staying put in one place, and is mom going to work outside of the house, or are we going to travel with dad so that dad, you know, and kids and mom have time together,
or them needing support too,
right? Yeah, and there's so many considerations that go into that, especially when you add kids into the mix, right? So I guess my question to you, Kara, is what are your career, you know, goals and aspirations, and how do you see that diversifying or changing, you know, with your parenting life approaching?
Yeah, I think that they're ever changing. I don't really ever see myself doing one thing. I'm always kind of like on the lookout for more opportunities. And I know that I may end up somewhere down the line that I didn't even see, and I don't even see it yet. But like that's like so exciting to me. My two brands that I know will be here for a long time that I feel so passionately about are Kinlike, which is a women empowerment like clothing brand, but we host events in each city. We've done like Cleveland and Arizona so far. And I want to like kind of have that go on tour with me while I travel with him and kind of reach out to other baseball wives to have them bring their communities together. It would be like so fun if he's already playing, you know, in New York, and you and me put together the Akin Like event and brought all the Mets wives together and all the girls in New York and did, you know, a women's walk, and then you bring local entrepreneurs to set up their businesses, and so it turns into like a mixer. So Kinlike I'm extremely passionate about, and then Telt Skincare is my sister and I's tallow skincare brand.
That's your guys' combined.
Yeah,
Baby,
yeah. And we're having babies too right now while
Yeah.
doing it. So it's been like the coolest experience to work with her. She's my very best friend. And it's been just helping a lot of women, and with eczema to baby balm for when your baby has like the acne, stretch marks for your belly, all the things. So those are two things that I'm like very passionate about. And then I think I will dabble in modeling again when the time feels right. But yeah, I kind of have a lot on my plate, and I like we were talking
That's how you like
earlier.
it.
Yeah, this like slow down.
I've tried. I've
Yeah. But I don't want to miss a single moment of, you know, our son's life either. And I do love that I have the flexibility. And like you and I were talking about the other day, it's like they're only newborns for so long and they need their mom. And I'm really excited to have that be my next phase, like of this next baseball season, of just like really, really not missing that at all.
Hey, just popping in to say thank you for listening. If you're enjoying the show, leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts would mean the world. It helps us so much, and as a bonus, you'll also get a chance to win some exclusive merch like this sweatshirt I'm wearing. Now, back to the episode.
Yeah, and as you say, it's I think our goals and aspirations are ever evolving in general, but especially once we become moms, I think we're just thrown into this new version of ourselves, and we have so different, like our perspectives change, they shift, right? Our values always remain the same, but you will see how your inspirations are going to be new and different, and you're going to just probably have many new ideas, and Shane's going to have to be like, whoa, slow down, but you're going to have more motivation. Look who's here.
What's up, bro?
What's up? Hold up, I need headphones. What's going on?
How are you, man?
I'm great. How you doing?
We're good. It's good to see you.
Nice seeing you too, my brother.
Yeah, congratulations on everything with baseball, obviously, but growing
Thank you,
family,
thank you.
man. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Much love. How you guys doing? How you guys?
Good.
How's
We're
life?
all in an exciting time right now. We're just talking baseball babies and aspirations and all the things. that we love to
Amazing,
talk about.
amazing. It's the life we all picked.
Thank you for listening to the Unaparent podcast, produced by Studio Dama and hosted by me, Katia Lindor. If you like what you heard, subscribe or follow us on social media and tune in as we share deeply human stories about the unapparent truths of parenting.